FSU beat Oklahoma 35-32, and I watched it, and I thought, great job, Florida State. I remember we were on air, and we walked out of the studio, and it was on the monitor right around the corner. We watched the ending, probably the same time you did. I thought it was a great game, great ending, a heartbreaker for Oklahoma, but great ending, and it put the cap on a great season for FSU. But then I made the dire mistake of seeing what the internet thought about it. And the internet said, this is nothing to write home about. Oklahoma was terrible this year. You only beat them by 3. Be real, most of you were pissed that you didn't cover. That's what most of you were angry about. Well, I don't think Mike Norvell had a ticket. He didn't go Pete Rose on this game. He just wanted to win it by any means necessary, and they did. And Jordan Travis, he threw for like half a mile, I think, roughly half a mile worth of yardage in this game. They won. And so FSU finished with, would they finish with 10 wins, Jesse? Were they a 10-win team? Yeah, 10 wins. You guys won at 8. I went over to Knowles 24/7 preseason. You guys won at 8. 8 would have been good. You got 10. Here's the more important thing. This was not a bad, there are no bad wins in bowl seasons, but this was not even a win to look down on. Because with Dylan Gabriel, especially playing at his best, Oklahoma was a pretty good team. It's just that you didn't see that a whole lot this year. Now, you saw them with Gabriel. I would argue he wasn't always 100%, but towards the end of the year, Oklahoma's losses started to stack up. But look at them. Their final 4 losses were by 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. So their final 4 losses were by a combined 12 points. Thank you, Stats and Info. They had that 3-game spell in the middle of the season where, I mean, they just totally got blanked against Texas. But down the stretch, yeah, I mean, they were not a terrible team. They just kept losing close games. They lost another close game here. Well, you know what that means? That means that it probably doesn't take a massive course correction for Brent Venables and his team to see a big uptick. You know, they could be next year what Mike Norvell and his team were this year, for all we know. There's a lot of uncertainty, obviously, because you're still in a rebuild. Or you're still in, if you're not calling it a rebuild, an overhaul, I think is fair at the very least. But look, we're going to talk about it more Thursday. How could you not feel great about Florida State right now? I was down with Bryant McFadden in Atlanta. We were doing SEC championship coverage. First thing he said to me when he saw me was, "What's up? How you been? We're winning the ACC next year." Just put a stamp on it right there. And I thought to myself, well, that's a little bold. You did play there. And so I get the love. And he said, no. It doesn't matter where I played. FSU's winning the ACC. I'm not telling you that because I played there. I'm telling you that because it's going to happen. And then he probably rattled off about 15 bullet points. He may be right. The ACC is wide open. And Florida State's going nowhere but up. So this time about 4 or 5 months from now, when we start entering the dreaded preview magazine season, you're going to see a brand on the cover of some of those preview mags you hadn't seen in a few years. And Chief Osceola is the face of that brand. And Jordan Travis will be the face of that team. And Mike Norvell will be the face of that team. Florida State, there's no sugar high here. This is not chugging a Red Bull. They took time and they built it the right way. Not everyone was patient with him, but the right people in Tallahassee were patient with him. Tennessee, in years past, has fit that description. Very passionate fan base, sometimes irrational, but on the whole, they've been patient enough to allow the proper thing to develop. Florida State fans, sometimes irrational just because they're very passionate. I don't ever knock you for that. But you've taken time, and now you got things developing the proper way. And you know what? As a result of that, you don't have to worry about falling back below the bowl threshold next year. You'll be fine. I'm not guaranteeing you'll win 10 or more games again. I'm telling you, you'll be in the hunt. There is no game that you're going to look at on Florida State's schedule this upcoming season and have to chalk it up as a loss. It's been a long time since we said that. It's been a long time since we approached a season and said, FSU can win every one of these games. In fact, it's been a very long time since we did that. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me, that's how we keep this entire thing free.